It's well known today that we have very many big IT systems around the globe which have really failed. They have been dramatically delayed. The customer is not satisfied with the functionality, and the cost has been much higher than was contracted. And this is happened very often, and only about 20% of real big IT systems are really successful. The rest are in the other field.
When it comes to cost, there are a few areas that there is no relation in between cost and output. IT, you can put in any kind of investment and you get nothing from it. I mean, we have several experiences within healthcare. The 2 billion GVD project here in Stockholm that ended, 5-6 years ago. No users, not even pilots. The relevance between cost of IT in healthcare and the output and the usability. There's no straightforward thing to say that it costs this much. I mean, you really need to challenge the costs that has been when it comes to IT in healthcare, because as we didn't trust the internet, we developed several tailored systems. They caught quite a lot.
What is important in the software industry is that you need a business model to sell your software worldwide. Like Facebook needs a business model to run the Facebook, and that they need subscribers and people paying for advertisement and things like that. And that is also, so in order to keep IT costs low, you must have products that can run on a lot of platforms, can be sold worldwide. And that is still a difficult issue.
It seems to be that cost is a short-term issue. People look at, well, what do I have to pay for, let's say, the next year to get a project running or to get a product be produced? What people usually leave out is long-term cost, because to my mind, IT could be much cheaper if we would think about it in more clearer ways. So if we would think about systems of systems and the idea that we have, for example, a lot of redundant software systems in an enterprise, where in a number of different projects, a number of different persons have just acquired some new software systems without even talking to each other. And so now they have all these redundant systems which are paid for, where we have licenses and everything. So I think if we are talking about cost, there's a lot of space to cover for reduce this if we would think in long-term issues and if we would think in a consolidated manner, which doesn't happen now, because now people are just trying to bring their projects over the borderline to make them work.
Enterprise architecture management is a discipline that's something like 6 years old, and typically it takes much longer to have that kind of maturity, so that you have really formal models to do the key performance indicator calculation necessary to know what is a good measure and how what are the classical benchmark measures if you compare with other companies. And these are typical research projects that we more or less help organizations setting up benchmarks, comparing the performance of systems, so that they more or less have an industry benchmark and know, okay, how not only the simple questions, how much of my overall budget goes into IT, which would be a very simple number, which is currently the maturity of many organizations. They have this black box of IT and they have the total spending on IT. And much more is important to know, okay, for which product, for which location, for which process do I spend how much money, and how much revenue is in the end produced by having better IT.